Hi, this is Andrea Schulman again, and a couple days ago I got another great viewer question that I wanted to share with you. Here's the question. Is it really true that we're responsible for manifesting every single thing in our life? Many a time I found myself in negative situations. For example, getting painfully hit by my mother in spite of my consistent, positive, happy thoughts and vibration, which leave me wondering, how could that happen to me when I'm in such a happy vibration? If yes, then are we supposed to have positive thoughts 24/7 and be constantly manifesting good in our life? Or is negativity, as I have personally noticed, inevitable, and we must learn to deal with it and know its purpose, rather than trying to stop it with deliberate creation? Wow, this is such a great question because it really gets at the heart of what a lot of people wonder about the law of attraction. So I really want to talk about this today in today's quick law of attraction video. All right, I really love this question because it gets to a point that I think is important for us to wrap our minds around at least a little bit in order to really enjoy using the law of attraction to our advantage and see it working for us in a really excellent way. And the point is this: there is a lot going on in our realities. And yes, we are responsible for all of it, but it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on. So if you just take a moment and look around your reality, it's infinitely complex. All of the relationships, the weather, the way your house looks, all of the things that are all over the place in your reality right this moment, the temperature, the air quality, the sunshine, all of it, your health, all of it is a manifestation of your consciousness. A lot of times I think what is a bit confusing for us is that we're very used to attending our focus on one thing at a time. You know, right now I'm making a video, later I might be writing something, I'm going to pick up my kids, I'm going to eat something, and we attend to things one at a time, but our reality is this infinite projection of everything that's going on in here. And so this is what can be a bit frustrating for people with the law of attraction, is that they can understand that it's important for themselves to get into a higher vibrational state. And they can see how that has positive effects, but even though they may be raising up in consciousness, there's still negative feedback that's popping out here and there. And that's something to understand, is that it's not your job to correct every little piece of negativity in your life, especially not all at once. All right. There's a lot that's going on in your mind. Your mind has collected all kinds of thoughts, infinite thoughts on infinite topics. And just to expect that you're going to be able to eradicate all of that is extremely frustrating. But here's what will help, is not beating up on yourself when something negative comes into your situation. Now, what you're going to find over time is that the more you consistently stay in a positive state, the more that you shift out of limiting belief patterns, the less of that negative feedback is going to be coming your way. And you may absolutely find yourself in a position, whereas if you've had a negative relationship with somebody, like a mother or a spouse or a friend, those things can certainly shift. But expecting them to shift all at once, simply from being in a positive state, probably isn't going to work. Because if we've gotten ourselves into a position where, I'm just going to use the example of the mother because that was a very big one there. If we've gotten ourselves into a position in reality where we've been manifesting something similar from somebody for a long period of time, maybe their anger or their abuse or their dysfunction, we have to understand that if that's a big inflamed situation that's very painful, that's something that's gained a lot of momentum. So it's something that started a long time ago. There was a seed of that a long time ago, probably long before you learned about the law of attraction or what positive thinking is. Something that happened a long time ago that started to build up momentum. And now it's at a point where it's a big part of my consciousness. There's an expectation that this person's going to be negative, or they're going to be dysfunctional, or they're going to be abusive. And me simply being in a happy state isn't going to change my expectation of that person, at least not overnight. And so if something like this happens, from something that's been happening for a long time or an expectation that's been going on for a long period of time, that is to be expected. Because as long as I have the expectation that something is going to happen negatively or there's going to be some kind of problem in the world, that is going to show up in my reality, at least periodically. That being said, it doesn't mean you can't shift it. But one thing to understand is that there's a lot going on in your mind. And yes, you can shift into a more positive reality, and you will over time, the more that you focus on these kinds of ideas and focus on positivity, and you're going to see that that noise dies down. But please don't beat up on yourself if something pops into your reality that's negative. Now, the other part to this question is, are we supposed to be positive 24/7? Well, the answer to that is no, you're not supposed to be positive 24/7. All right, it helps to be positive, but here's the thing to understand that's a little bit askew, and I get where this question is coming from, because it comes from this idea that I got to control how I feel. Instead of trying to control how you feel, try to start to look at your emotions more as navigation. So if I'm feeling negative, all that really means is that I've wandered into a territory of thought that isn't working for me. That's all it means. It's a sign. It's like a big stop sign. It's not a sign that you've done anything wrong. Rather, it's just guidance to let you know that the train of thought or behavior that you're on in the present moment isn't working for you. And you'd be well advised to turn a little bit and go in the direction of something that feels a little bit better, a train of thought that feels better, a behavior that feels better. Likewise, when you're feeling positive, it's not a sign that you're a fantastic, wonderful person. It just means that you're in a habit of thought right now, or you're doing something right now that's working for you. So it's just a feedback mechanism. And a lot of times we look at the positive and the negative feedback as rewards or punishments, and it's natural that we would look at them that way. But if you step back and look at them as guidance, you'll stop invalidating the negative experiences as being bad or signs that you're doing something wrong, and rather you'll use them as the tool that they're intended to be. And so this is the overarching message that I want to leave you with. Your life is infinitely complex, and you're on an eternal journey. That means there's a lot going on, all right? Try not to get hung up too much on if something negative shows up. Okay, if it shows up, it's showing up because it's something that's been showing up for a long time. It's something we've attended to for a long time. It's not that big of a deal. If I'm feeling bad, all that means is I'm focused on a habit of thought that isn't working for me. In the moment, that's just feedback to let me know, turn over here, turn to a place that feels a little bit better. If you start using the negative things in that way as simply guidance, you're going to find yourself turning in the direction of positivity more frequently, and you're going to start using those negative events to your advantage. And what will happen is the negative output will naturally die down. The positive output will naturally rise in your reality. And to the point where there may still be some negative things that are happening, but they're not killing you. They're not totally overwhelming you. They're just little things. Oh, okay, turn in this direction. Oh, okay, turn in this direction. Once you get into that pattern, you're going to find that things don't really knock you down that much. Things are going pretty smoothly for you. And you're not really pushing against the negative things in your life. Rather, you're just, oh, okay, let me use this to my advantage. All right. So it's not about eradicating the negativity. Rather, it's about using it in a way that's constructive. And one of the biggest things to understand is that it's not a sign that you're doing something bad or wrong or horrible, or that you're a bad person, or that you're screwing everything up. All it means is, oh, I'm attending to a thought that isn't working for me. So in this moment, let me give myself permission to focus on something that feels a little bit better. All right, but remember, this is a journey. It's a journey that can get infinitely, infinitely better. All right, so don't expect perfection. Just get your needle pointed in the right direction and keep traveling. And you'll find that things keep getting better and better and better.